Ladies and gents, welcome back. We are back again, another Friday. How fast did that go by? Insane times that we're living in where every week just seems to fly by. Lots of, so much stuff happening from this week. I don't know if I can cover all of it. We have about an hour before we have our guest this evening. And all the way from the shoe swap, we have Shannon. She's coming in, and she's going to give us a bit of information on what's... sorry, Sharon. My bad. That's my bad. Sharon from the Shoe Swap. She's going to be coming. She is under the name Be Teased on Instagram, and she took basically like what happened during the convoy when a lot of people were doing other things who just happen to have cameras and things going on and a little bit of a social platform. Went from, you know, just doing that to, holy cow, this event is happening and I'm going to document it. This is what's happened with Sharon in Shoe Swap. As nobody knows what's going on and the news media is not filling us in, she's been taking her what was Instagram page for her food truck, and she's turned it into a source of information for a lot of people. In that is the title clickbait. Is my title clickbait? Wildfires being used as an excuse by government for lockdowns? I don't think that is clickbait, and we're going to get into that, of course, a little bit later on. I mean, we're going to be covering this the whole stream. We're going to be talking about what's going on with the thing. Hey, chat, why don't you come over here? That's better. Right there is where I'd like you, and we're going to get into this. A number of different things before we have our guest in, and she can tell us exactly what's happening on the ground. But like I said, the best people to talk to in any of these scenarios are people on the ground. So that's exactly what I did. I started reaching out and luckily got a hold of Sharon. So she'll be on later on, and we're going to be getting into that. But before we do that, there's a few other stories that I'd like to get to. Greetings all, have a great show. Clyde, Northern Perspective, thanks. If you didn't check out last stream, Northern Perspective came on and they were fantastic. They were a great couple of people, run a great channel, and amazing conversations that we had in that last live stream. The live streams they all stay up on the channel. You can go into the live tab on YouTube and you can watch the previous streams, but that was one from last week and that was fantastic. I really can't say enough good stuff about them. Go over and subscribe to their channel. Absolutely. And speaking of subscriptions and all that jazz, don't forget to hit the like button on this video. The like button's always helpful because it tells those algorithmic little deities to do their thing and give out the information. Share this stream, you know, put it out and recommend it to more people that are like-minded people, mainly like-minded people. Search up like-minded things and have like-minded habits on searching YouTube, and YouTube recognizes this, and they use that information to share it out with more people and get that out to everybody. So I would encourage everybody to go hit that like button because it really helps out. But yes, there's a lot of stuff to get into tonight, and I don't like to start things on a bad note, and I'd never like to start things on a bad note. But today I honestly I didn't want to do a video about this because it was just such sad news. But we had a loss in our community, and yeah, I mean, losses are never easy for people. So. Sheila Annette Lewis passed away this week, and yeah, it's really sad news in this situation. Here's Roman Baber. Not a lot of politicians that wanted to come to her aid at the time. Roman Baber did say things, and Roman Baber, as in the wake of the news here, has put out a tweet talking about it. The Canadian Health Act forbids discrimination, but Sheila Lewis was denied transplant because of lawful medical choice. Her death is a tragic failure of our medical ethics and the administration of justice. I'll work to right this wrong until the last day of my career. rest in peace, Sheila. And I really this one's tough. I actually had Sheila on the program just over a month ago. It wasn't very long ago, when she was doing her campaign, the Give Send Go campaign, to raise money to go to the U.S. to have the procedure done in the U.S. And the procedure was authorized by a doctor in the U.S. Although, because of the all these articles that were written, the YouTubers that reached out, the interviews that she did, and people getting the word out, the Alberta Health Services changed their mind. They changed their mind out of the embarrassment. Of course, she had to sign some sort of non-disclosure agreement, and that was part of the deal. So her lawyer made a statement saying she's going to be given the treatment, but she can't talk about it. And we all know why that is, because the people responsible don't want to be named. They don't want to let that be known. For all intents and purposes, she was murdered by Alberta Health Services, in my opinion, and that's the opinion I'm gonna stick with, because it was unnecessary to deny her that, and it was because of it was arbitrary, absolutely arbitrary in nature. She had given proof that she had antibodies for COVID-19, and nonetheless, they still denied her for political reasons. That's my opinion. That's absolutely my opinion. And there's good reason why those people want their names hidden, and they're gonna have to live with that for the rest of their lives. That they are the reason that this happened. And I just don't want to dwell on it too much here, but that's my opinion on the case. Now, True North wrote a story about it. Sheila Nett Lewis, Alberta woman denied transplant over vaccine status, had died this week. It just explains the story that I just gave you. That's I'm gonna leave that one with you guys. Because what do you do? What do we do with this? There's so much tragedy that's happened here in Canada over this pandemic, and I don't think it's anywhere about to end. There's a lot of people that ought to be on the hook for this. There's a lot of people that ought to be on the hook for a number of other things that have happened in this time. I'm gonna pull this closer so I can see the chat better. It's going to be very difficult for a lot of people to move past this, and it's not over, because, well, you say no amnesty in the chat, but the same people that did that are moving forward on this climate alarmism stuff. And I'm not trying to say that the climate isn't changing. Nobody's saying that, because the climate does change. This is a thing, but is it really what are we doing it? And is all the stuff that they're predicting happening? Only time will tell on that one, because you know what? I'll put that one in my take this serious category. When all the people saying it stop taking planes, sell their waterfront property instead of acquiring more, and actually start taking action towards that. That's my opinion. But they're definitely using it as a political tool, just like they did COVID-19, and it's moving forward. And I think that's what a lot of these stories that we're getting into today are sort of getting at. And this is a lot of the same rhetoric coming out from the COVID time, and it's going into climate change these days. And that's not it's not like something that's unpredicted, let's just say. A lot of people said that this is what's going to happen. The leaders that are talking about this, they said that this is what's going to happen. I mean, the guy who wrote the book on it, the guy who wrote The Great Reset, the book that all these politicians have been using, Klaus Schwab, he The Return of Big Government, it says right there on page 89. Wow. So the same guy that wrote that, he also wrote The Great Narrative, and that's his second edition to the whole thing. And yeah, it's all about keeping that narrative going and being able to push their agenda forward. And of course, we've heard about their agenda. It's a new economic system. It's no different than other old ideologues that have come out with horrible ideas in the past. Their ideas, if implemented, will be devastating, and that's my opinion. It's not, the Grand Q-tip. That's right, the Cotton Schwab, old Klausy. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. I don't think there's they're magical or anything like that. They're a bunch of ideologues, and yeah, they're in powerful positions, and yeah, they're trying to lobby and implement their thing, just like other people have done in the past. The Bolsheviks did it. Chavez did it recently in Venezuela, and this is all stuff that's going to be pushed through, and this is what they're working on right now, and this is what a lot of this stuff with the forest fires and blaming it on climate change is all about. And well, a lot of the economic woes that we're running into now. We're just about to get into some of those, so let me whip my whistle and we'll get into that. Love that, the Grand Q-tip. Yeah, Cotton Schwab. Here we go. The trader who predicted the 2008 financial crisis bets $1.6 billion on stock market crash by the end of this year. That's a whole one to stomach. Okay, so Michael Burry, if you guys don't know who he is, G-Meister, thank you so much with the $10 super chat. First, they said that the Earth was cooling, then the atmosphere was disappearing, then there was acid rain, then global warming, then COVID, and now heat domes. What a load of stuff. Yeah, absolutely. This is where we're at. Just one more thing to add to the whole thing. Oh, I missed one on the beginnings here. Chippy's Outdoors gifting 5 Clyde Do Something memberships. Everybody who got one better get in the comments there and say thank you to Chippy's Outdoors and get back in there. How do I get the chat back? Okay, we got the chat back. Thank you so much, Chippy's Outdoors, and thank you so much, G-Meister, for the super chats and gifted memberships to the channel. Million Man, I'm in. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the guy himself. Now, if you don't know who Michael Burry is, he was played by Christian Bale in the movie The Big Short. If you haven't seen The Big Short, go get it tonight after the stream and go watch it. It's about the 2008 meltdown and how absolutely predictable it was for some people, but there was a lot of people who like to ascribe to the same economic policies that the government uses, and none of them saw it coming. And of course, people in the real estate industry don't want to see it coming because it's all wishful thinking, right? But no, the economic fundamentals behind the whole thing was very predictable. He wasn't the only one predicting it. If you can recall, there was a guy named Peter Schiff. He was an economist in the United States, and he talked about it a lot. Actually, Ron Paul spoke about it quite extensively as well. So there was a lot of people that predicted this stuff. It just so happens that a lot of them sort of follow the same schools of thought when it comes to economics. And well, the same guy is predicting we are once again in a bubble market. In Canada is, of course, in a housing bubble, but it's worse than just a housing bubble. We are in the midst of a currency crisis, and that looks like that's where we're gonna be with this. Just pardon me for 1 second. I'm fixing my cable that fell over under the table here. Currency crisis. This could be really, really bad, really detrimental to a lot of people who have a lot of stuff tied into assets, but the assets are completely covered by debt. Good evening, Clyde and crew. Good evening. Good evening. I love catching this. as people roll in. As you roll in, please say hi. Say hi to everybody. I love it. I love it. This time, housing bubble based in Canada. Well, yeah, there's not really a housing bubble in the United States. That was there. That was in '08. Now they have a currency crisis massively. They have a debt crisis, and that's really where it's coming to here. In Canada, we ran with really, really low interest rates for really, really long to try to keep people afloat. This the housing market should have popped at the same time as it did in the U.S. It should have. It should have just kind of fizzled, but because it wasn't so big at the time. If you remember, '08 was still quite a while ago. 2015 is when Trudeau got in to government, and housing prices have doubled since. Now, a lot of people love this because they were speculating and they were playing in the market and buying houses, flipping them, buying another house, flipping it, and basically going around and encoder overloaded. Wow, what happened there? I had a hiccup in the live stream. Anyway, a lot of people speculating in the market had a lot of fun, bid up prices of real estate because it was possible, because all of that cheap money, cheap credit was out there and available. But anyway, the trader, the guy from who made it famous from The Big Short, because he shorted the U.S. stock exchange, I suppose. I guess it was. He shorted the real estate bubble, and when it popped, he made a lot of money on that bet. And he would have lost way more if it hadn't gone down. So the guy clearly knows what he's talking about. And now he's betting $1.6 billion on a stock market crash by the end of 2023. That is terrifying that somebody's going to put that much money on the line for that. An investor who was featured in the film The Big Short, after correctly bet on the housing collapse of 2008, is now predicted that a Wall Street crash will take place by the end of this year. Michael Burry, I was just talking about the movie. The Security Exchange Commission filings released on Monday show that he has taken out a negative options on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, both which are representative of the U.S. economy at large. Mr. Burry is reported by CNN to be using more than 90% of his portfolio to bet on the market downturn. 90%. He's almost all in. Absolutely almost all in. And this is detrimental to us too. If the US economy crashes, we're going with it. We're going down with the ship. It doesn't work any other way. But this is where we're at with that. Love to hear what you guys have to say about this story before we move on, because oh my goodness, we're an evening of not the greatest news out there, and I'm trying to make it entertaining for you guys. I'm trying to make it something that we can relate to or relate with and have a good couple of hours here in this live stream. But hey, howdy Clyde, I'm sorry to be late to the party. Sean King, don't worry about it. You come when you can come. Boomer baby, yup. Most can't buy food yet alone silver and gold. Yeah, I'm not peddling silver and gold, don't you worry. But yeah, this is really going to affect a lot of people. This is going to be difficult for sure along those lines. Did something happen with Jeremy McKenzie this week? I haven't heard anything about that. No. So if something has, I definitely didn't hear about it. I've seen him tweeting. He's been tweeting all week. What did I miss? You missed a bit, but not a ton. You can always just go catch the first 15 minutes of the stream later. Just watch it at the beginning. It's not that big a deal. Anything new on BRICS? Well, they're trying to take over for the petrodollar. I don't think there's any new strides or anything like that. Diversify IA or AI. The best. Keep some cash on hand. Get crypto. Yeah, get your stuff all over the place. Jason Abby, sorry for the mispronunciation, with the $5 super chat. Trudeau must go. Loved your Northern Perspective show and seeing you on Sunday in their live stream chat. P.S. High Vis merch. Okay, that might be a difficult one to find, but I'm gonna put that on the list. I'm gonna make a sticky note actually right now to see if we can't make that happen. High Vis merch. High Vis merch. It's on the list. That's really funny. That's High Vis merch. Okay, it's on there. And I'm gonna put it way up here so I don't forget about that. It's no kidding. I actually made a note. It's right there. It's going up. It's going up. We'll see how we do here. I want to thank everybody that actually went out and purchased something from the online store this week as it came out. So I've been announcing it on the videos that we have a live store. It's up, and I was fortunate enough that actually when the first sample came to me was the day I was meeting with Tamara, and Tamara, I was like, what a perfect gift. I just wanted to try it on. That's it, just to make sure it was quality. So I gave it to Tamara, and she modeled it off for me for the website, so you guys can check it out. Of course, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I'll put a link in the chat. There it is. The link is in the description. You can check it out. Go get over there and buy one up. There's all kinds of stuff. There's mugs. There's a couple of different hats, a couple of different shirts, and of course the zip up hoodie. I want a patch or two. I was trying to find patches on the service that I use. Can't find it, so I'm gonna try to incorporate it maybe through another provider. That was something that I couldn't make happen, so we'll try that again with somebody else. I refuse to buy Clyde Do Something condoms. I would too, and I'm with you on that one. Free hats at 12 months membership, bro. Okay, well we'll see how that works. So I've been having a bit of trouble getting everything connected to the Google service. So there was an issue there apparently with one of the products. I don't know why. It says it didn't like it, so I have to renew my my whole setting it up. I have to set it up again, and it's a big weird thing on the back end. So anyway, I'm glad so many people went out and picked it up, because that's fantastic. Thank you guys all for doing that. I made it because everyone just kept bugging me, make merch. Okay, all right, and I made sure that it was good stuff. So glad to see people getting it out there. Yeah, the merch looks good. Yeah, thank you. Jason Abbey with the $2 super chat. Who would love a Clyde logo on high vis type 1? Okay. Let's see how many ones we get. We got one from Albert, one from Daniel. Okay, are the ones coming? Yeah, not doing any adult shops. That's for sure. Wow. So I mean, okay, all right. I want a Clyde suit. So I'm guessing there's a lot of people who work in construction. Okay, and if you could get a Clyde, high vis Clyde shirt, okay. We'll see if we can't make that happen. I didn't know that was get out of here. There's not that many people that want to buy it, is there really? That's right, plugs. We're throwing the plugs in there. Come on, man, Clyde. Nope, not happening. That is not happening. Yellow vest of protest. Okay, yeah. I want to keep the store kind of minimal. Now there's some other designs we're going to be coming out with, some like cool slogans and different other things other than just my logo. So I'm looking forward to bringing that stuff to you. Sonia with the 139 super sticker. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If you want to say something in the chat, jump in there, say something. You need to make at least one pair of socks and send them to Trudeau. Oh, wow. No, I don't want to be on his feet. Forget it. No, thanks. Men's belly shirts. Oh, any shirt can be a belly shirt, man. That's just a quick modification, isn't it? Glasses. All right. Anyway, moving on. Ben Bankus was in the in the news today. Ben Bankus, comedian out of Toronto. I love his stuff. I love what he does. This one's really good. Real Toronto News says Ben Bankus speaks out about immigrants pooping on the beaches. Let's just say pooping on the beaches. And here he is. Oh, why have we gone silent? Why can't I get the audio? Oh, really? Video has what? No sound? Come on. Give it to me. Give it to me. Chippy's Outdoors with the $20 super chat. Sleeveless high-vis option. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we'll see. We'll see what we can get. It's about what these. I'm not like out there sewing these things together, so I'm making them available. But this is something that happens. Why can't I get the audio to work on this? This is so tragic. It was working earlier today, and now it's a no-go, and I can't share this funny moment from comedian Ben Bankus that now Instagram is just not working. What is happening here? Video has no sound. What happened? Was it too offensive? Was it too offensive that it got taken down? Is that what happened? Ah, wow, disappointing. Right on a live stream as well. Let's just say it was a funny skit where Ben Bankus had some things to say. What a shame. I hate for that to happen. That's just live is just that. Live, Clyde. Yeah, I know. And I had this all prepared and ready to go for you guys, and it didn't work out. Unfortunate. It sure is unfortunate. So let's just keep going and move on. Sonia with another 279 super chat. All in appreciation. All in appreciation. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I appreciate this whole community. You guys are great. That does happen. It does. It does. What do you do? What do you do? You can sweat it or you can move on, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move on. So, famous picture of the week. Probably the most famous picture of the week. That would be this picture. That's right. This is more super chats coming in. Who we got? We got Jason Abbey with a $2 super chat. I'm part Irish and English. Sleeveless equals burnt. That means you're done. Maybe this guy too. No, he doesn't burn. He just turns orange. And even in Folsom County, where this is the mugshot. This is the mugshot of Trump as he was brought in to see the kangaroo court that wanted to prosecute him. Now, this is what an interesting time that we live in. This is the look of a man who is coming for revenge. Yes, this is Trump. This is Trump as they arrested him on. I mean, how do you say this without a pun? Trumped up charges that aren't going to stick. I mean, some of the charges are from 11, 13 years ago with some Stormy Daniels stuff that isn't even a crime. But they're putting it out there as if it is, and nonetheless, even if it was a crime, the statute of limitations ended many moons ago, and this is all in an attempt to make it so that this guy can't run for president in the future. And how ridiculous actually is it? Seriously, to the point that they are really terrified of this guy running for president. I've got the wrong clip up here. Where's the other? I've got so many clips tonight, and you know I'm not going to get to all of them. But they're so afraid of this guy running for president again that they're willing to bend the law, break the law, whatever they have to do to make it so the guy can't run. Like, he just can't. And I can't find the clip I was looking for. Of course. It always just works that way. Nope. Is that the clip? Nope. This is another one of those that's not the clip. Dang. I'm just having one of those streams, am I not? I am. Bear with me, guys, this week. It's just one of them streams. But anyway, it was a CNN clip where they were just astonished at the fact that this guy is running again despite all the indictments that they've trumped up on him. And he didn't even join in the first debate, the debate for the nominee for the Republican Party, because he's so far ahead of everybody that he just said, why? Why go up and listen to a bunch of, he actually said this on Tucker Carlson's show, why go up and talk to a bunch of nobodies when he's the top pick anyway. Jason Abbey with the $2 super chat. 2 albino caterpillars died on his eyebrows. Yeah, they did. It looks like he is going gray. He's going gray at this point, and yeah, what have you. Like him or hate him, he is one of those guys. He was the president of the United States for a series of years. And in that time, there were no new wars. The economy did fantastically. Actually, it was booming. It was doing way better. They said he was going to start Third World War. They said he was going to launch the nukes. None of that happened until he was removed from office. And yeah, now all that stuff's happening. The economy's gone to crap. The wars have been starting all over the place. And we're on the brink of nuclear war. We are. And all the climate and the COVID and all of this stuff, our world is falling apart. They're trying to build back better. But we're going to get into that nonetheless. This is the world we live in. It's just insane to me that this is the way it's been going. But, you know, what do you do? As all this stuff has been falling apart, especially in Canada, I mean, who's to blame? Who is to blame if all of this stuff goes wrong? Well, Pierre Poilievre is blaming Justin Trudeau, and, well, the rest of the cabinet is laughing about that. I have this clip here. This is just a game to Justin Trudeau and the out-of-touch Liberals, or the Liberal MPs in his cabinet. They laugh that they are to blame for all the problems plaguing us plebeians. Let them eat cake, they might as well say. And this is the clip here.
Hi, Prime Minister. Tom Parry with CBC. Pierre Poilievre is blaming you for pretty much every problem facing the country, whether that's crime. Big laugh from the gallery. That's great. Crime, inflation, a shortage of housing. And looking at the polls, I'm wondering if you think that message is...
Yeah, big laugh from the gallery at the fact that the crime is going up as the economy's gone to absolute trash. They're blaming us. I mean, we're only in power as the country is in meltdown. Isn't it funny that we have a quasi-majority and everything we put through goes through? And it's all gone to crap. Oh, literally lolling, laughing out loud. This is the country we live in. All of them who laughed are on his payroll. So yeah. It's funny because it's not looking good. It's not looking good for them over in the Liberal Party. Of course, this is the clip I was looking for earlier. Yeah, this is where they're comparing Donald Trump to Biden. And what if there was a general election today? It looks like he just may win. But the Liberal Party, of course, is losing favor with the public. I mean, it's understandable. It's absolutely understandable. To the point, it's so ridiculous how much they have the media in their back pocket. It's so gross. And Andrew Lawton points this out perfectly here. Because, I mean, catch the wording here. I don't really care about Chrystia Freeland's speeding. I know I made a video about it because I saw it as a perfect opportunity to talk about the economy. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna make a video about that thing that happened, and then in the middle of that video I'm gonna focus on what she is supposed to be doing as a government official, as the finance minister, not selling us out for the other job that she has as the chair of the board of the World Economic Forum. That is, yeah, absolutely what she does for a living. But here she is talking about her speeding ticket. Just 1 second here. We got a super chat from Northern Perspective, $5. Some good news for the viewers, Clyde. Abacus polling now has Conservatives up 12 points on Trudeau, looking like the laughs are backfiring. That's actually what I was getting to here, because right after this, they're even squawking from the left. It's amazing. Thanks for the super chat, by the way, Northern Perspective. But so not caring about Freeland speeding, she did it. She got caught. She paid the ticket. It's hilarious how the CBC journalist makes Freeland out to be the victim, though. By asking about the leak of the ticket. Oh, there was a leak. It's funny how they go after leakers and they don't go after people who are just seeking the truth these days.
Good afternoon, Lisa Mayer, CBC News. I have a couple of quick questions for Minister Freeland as well. I'm wondering what your reaction is to the leak about your speeding ticket, and do you have concerns about the fact that that was leaked publicly?
So look, I did get a speeding ticket driving between Grand Prairie and Peace River. I was driving too fast, and I won't do it again.
Second.
Wow. Okay. So the leak. Now this is indicative of the government and their lackeys or their lapdogs over in the media, because they're always looking to defend them, and they'll defend them in their answers and their questions. I mean, and they'll do the opposite to the other side, of course. And if you don't think that the media is biased, I mean, at this point, what do you do? Just last week, it was Pierre Poilievre being asked by a journalist why, with the caveat of professionals and many experts are saying that you're giving dog whistles to the far right. What do you think about dog whistling to the far right? And you just dismiss the question. But of course, on the other side, if anything comes up, it's always a whistleblower, or not a whistleblower. It's not a whistleblower, it's a leaker, but it's a whistleblower if it favors them. And that's just always the way it works. G Meister with the $5 super chat. Just a thought, but Freakland is doing 2 jobs and failing at both. Where's the accountability? I want a refund for my tax dollars. Yeah, good luck with that one. I would love a refund for my tax dollars as well. I don't know how well that'll work out, but no, it's definitely good. I think anybody who's involved in a fire right now probably wants a refund for their carbon tax dollars as well. Isn't that supposed to be going towards helping people for things that are affected by climate change? Or are they going to jump on our camp and say that forest fires have nothing to do with climate change and probably mostly to do with arson? Anyway, thanks for the super chat, G Meister. Lady Trucker with the $20 super chat. Thank you for all you do for the people. Do for the people. The U.S. and Canada. In the U.S. and Canada, I'm guessing. Sorry, I'm really bad with typos because the dyslexia goes haywire for them. But yeah, no, thank you, Lady Trucker, for the super chat, and thank you so much for being part of the community and helping out with the channel, whether it's with super chats or with just being a viewer and hitting the like button, things like that. It's amazing. I thank you guys all for this. It's fantastic, and I really appreciate it so much. And this is why I love to keep doing it. And it's really about doing this and bringing forward more information for people, especially with the media that lies to us. It's just unbelievable. Pebbles with a $2 super sticker. Thank you so much, Pebbles. Appreciate that. And we've got Sonia with another $24.99 super sticker. Thanks for being you. Thank you for being you. Really appreciate it. No, you're breathtaking. I'm going to stick with that one. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. All of you guys. It's amazing. And just a quick question for all of you guys while we're here in the chat. What do you guys think of the new schedule that I've been doing? I've been doing one in the morning and then one in the evening. So I've been trying to split it up. Instead of doing all my videos in a big banger in the morning, I'll put research into both, but I'll do one in the morning and then I'll keep researching, and any up-to-date relevant news, I'll put it in the evening. Let me know what you think about that. I kind of like the schedule. I think it's been working out. I think a little bit breaking it up, and it keeps the channel relevant. It keeps it in the news feed for longer. Like every so many hours instead of just a big block of videos in one point in the day. Clyde is John Wick. What? What did I see there? Clyde is in John Wick 5. Am I? Enjoy both formats. Okay, so you enjoy both in the morning, all in the morning, or also in the evening. Okay, that's fair. I've also been releasing shorts. I don't know if anybody's watching them, or if that's just going out to the shorts algorithm. But yes, the shorts are a great thing. I've been putting those out and trying to get more stuff out there to people just that consume different types of media, and that's really what it comes down to. If you're on a different schedule, if you like different media, trying to get the stuff out for you. Loving the schedule, thank you. Lady Trucker with another $10 super chat. Awesome, Clyde, on the new schedule. Okay, you guys are really liking the new schedule. What do you guys think of the new thumbnails? I put my picture in the thumbnails, so it's a little bit more recognizable that these are my videos instead of being kind of a generic thing. Let me know. Do you guys like the new style for the thumbnails? Or should I go back to just putting a picture of whatever is relevant and a couple of words to say the thing? Let me know. Shorts are good. Just be careful you don't make it a shart. Yeah, okay. It's Clyde wearing shorts. Oh, no, I'm not wearing... No, I have pants on. I don't play that game where I don't wear pants when I live stream. Some people say that. Nope, I wear pants. Do what works for you, man. Yeah, of course, and I want to do what works for the community as well. So I mean, it's a give and take here, and I really appreciate everybody that views the channel, and I want to accommodate for everybody in the best ways that I can possibly. Yes, we want everyone to hear the truth, Clyde. Yes, that's the whole idea. Queenie, how do you say that? Wow, Wowington, ooh, hi, money. Thanks for the $2 super chat. Should get my best buddy Pat King on here. He would. Would Pat King join me on the show? I would have Pat King on the show for sure. If he wanted to join, have him reach out to me. That would be great. My contact is on the info part of the YouTube channel. So just go to that section and yeah, have him reach out to me. I'll definitely I'll get in touch with him if he wants to come on. I'd love to speak with everybody in all walks of everything. Absolutely. Nothing you can do will convince me to look at your shorts, Clyde, says Unacceptable Fringe for $5. Thank you, Derek. Thank you so much. I don't drink Bud Light, but I still love you, brother. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. All right. Patch Duress with a $13.99 super chat. Wow, I'm just catching up on these now. Wow, okay, they're flying by. I'm not making sure I'm not missing any. Patch Duress with $13.99 super chat. The more the liberals plus NDP are in power, because you cannot disconnect those. As long as there's a coalition, they are one party. They are the party. And don't forget this going into the election for people who vote NDP or people who are disaffected liberals who end up voting NDP. You're voting for the liberals if you vote NDP. The more the liberals NDP are in power, anarchism or invasion by the US looks appealing. Honestly, is loving your country an unrealistic prerequisite for public office in Canada? Schedule is awesome. Okay, awesome. I like that you like the schedule. Yeah, annexation into the U.S. Some people are dreaming about that right now. That would be better than being ruled by the liberals at this point. Absolutely, I agree with you on that one. Anarchism. I mean, pull that back one step to like minarchism, and I'm all about it. But we're the furthest from that at this point with giant government. I need to make sure I don't miss any of these. Team Paranormal with the $13.99 super chat. My home care worker told me that when she was pregnant, she was told to take the vaccine and the boosters. Her baby was born with his heart on the other side and needs 24-hour care. That is heartbreaking. Absolutely. Holy cow. Yeah, and now the information is known, but we find out that that information was known at the time and it was kept from us. That is devastating. Holy cow. I'm so sorry to hear about that. The Team Paranormal. Lady Trucker with another $10 super chat. Yes, Pat King rocks. I think I'm not gonna lie. I think Pat King's like quite a loudmouth, and I mean, I don't hate people for being loudmouths and yeah, whatever, right? But yeah, I think he had his time and his place, and he really he did a number. He did a number. But people love him, and that's it. And one thing you got to respect about the guy is he stuck to his guns, man. Like when they wanted him to plea out and take a deal, and he did not. And wow, some cojones on a guy for that, for sure. And his conviction is there. He's absolutely he has conviction for everything that he says. He just, oh boy, does he say some stuff. Holy cow. Steve's Hyde with a $5 super chat. Prime time, Clyde. I look forward to this every week. I'm glad you look forward to this. This is prime time. This is prime time for people on the East Coast, that's for sure. And I've been doing prime time daily videos these days. And I'm glad people are liking this because it works out for me too. I really enjoy doing it, and it helps me space the videos out a little bit. So that I'm able to do a little bit more research and jump on that. Sometimes I'll do like an added second little video in the mornings, maybe, and that might be a thing. If just something funny pops up, because it does happen from time to time. The U.S. has serious problems that we don't want to deal with, like being the guys who started this Ukraine conflict, crumbling infrastructure, never-ending warfare. Yeah, well, that's just, yeah. That's a thing. Actually, we're going to get into a bunch of stories here. I wanted to cover a bunch of this stuff, but that was one of the things. I guess I don't have to pull it up, but there was an article today talking about how many people are going back to Ukraine. And it was just astonishing. Actually, I have to pull up my tweet because my tweet kind of says it all about the state of Canada. Like, where are we when this is the case? And here's my tweet here, where I said, because more Ukrainians are ditching Canada due to the high cost of living. They're going home. They're going home instead of living in Canada. And so I said, when living in the middle of a proxy war between the West and Russia is more appealing than Canada. Like, where are we? Where are we when that is the case? People would rather go back to rockets and tanks than live in Canada. Are you kidding? And we're not talking about people who don't know what that is. We're talking about people who came here because of it, are going back to it because it's worse for them. I can't, that blows my mind. That absolutely blows my mind. I can't get over that. I can't. But this is why we have stuff like this. Even the Toronto Star saying Justin Trudeau should step down before the next election. Majority of survey respondents say. Well, why are they saying this? Because they're liberals and they want the Liberal Party to exist still. Justin Trudeau is burying the Liberal Party. And I feel bad for, because here's the thing, like Pierre Poilievre, really? What is he? He's a 1980s liberal. It's hard to go away from that. He's like everything's been shifting to the left so bad that if you get like a 1980s liberal and you put him in the Conservative Party, he'll kill it. He'll kill it. Just don't have your crazy lefties. Like this guy is nuts. This guy is completely out to lunch, you know, and he sold people a bill of goods. I get it. If you were fooled, I get it. Because Stephen Harper, why did he want to keep pot legal or pot illegal? That was dumb. The zeitgeist had shifted. People just don't care about that. Whatever. So Trudeau, what does he come in? He comes in on election reform and making pot legal. Well, he made pot legal. He gave that industry to all his buddies with his nice regulations. That, wow, great way to seize the day, seize that marketplace. And what did we get for election reform? Well, it's not very good. It's not very, it doesn't work out. Or it doesn't work out very well. I mean, and that came on the heels of what? It came on the heels of a conservative leader that, put us into a good fiscal position. But a lot of people didn't like, stuff that he had to say about environmental things. How do you feel about the environmental stuff now? How do you feel about it now? They're idiots. The drink box water bottle kind of thing. Yeah, what are you doing with your straws? This is the reality of the life that we're living in. Lindsay Dixon with a $13.99 super chat. Hi, Clyde. Can anyone prove that PP isn't part of the same globalist plan? Not being salty, really want people to see. I don't believe that he's part of this globalist plan. No, but what I would say is that he is just another politician. Like, he's been beating the drum of good fiscal policy since day one. He's a lifelong politician. He came out of school to do that, and people criticize him for coming out of school and being a politician right away. That's okay. But, you have star quarterbacks that came right out of high school and went right to star quarterbacking. Because they didn't work at McDonald's, does that mean that he's not good? No, I mean, but that's the thing. He is another politician, so, I mean, could be slippery. It could be some slippery thing. Let's just put it this way. What does every politician do? They run on platforms with promises, and what do they do with those promises once they get into office? They don't do what they said they were going to do. This is going to be the ultimate test. PP is going to get the job as the next Prime Minister of Canada, but because Trudeau's destroyed the Liberal Party, the NDP is in shambles. People don't trust them. If Pierre Poilievre doesn't do the job, this will leave a big opportunity for another party to come up and become a new thing. That's what I really believe. I think there'll be another party if PP poo-poos the bed. And that really is what it is. And he's not going to appeal to the super right-leaning people. He's going to appeal to the center, and just get used to that fact, because that's the way it's going to go. What I would hope is that he would actually have some balls to take on things like the dairy lobby, take on things like, big corporate donors that get their way. World Economic Forum is no different than any of the other corporate donors. You have to understand this. That's just a big lefty one. I think because the World Economic Forum is so lefty in nature, you're gonna see him move away from that, and that's just, I think that's just a good political move. I don't know if he actually believes in that stuff, but time will tell. Derb with the $2 super chat. You're doing a great job. Thanks. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm making sure that I don't miss any of these because you guys are being way so generous tonight. This is amazing. Dara, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Dara Sear with the $5 super chat. Canadian Constitution wasn't ratified. There are many politicians who support. Are there any politicians who support the charter? No. There aren't. I mean, who supported the charter during this whole COVID crisis? How many people were up there fighting on the basis that it was against the charter? It was unconstitutional. Wasn't a lot of them. There were a few. There are a few. It is a thing. But no, this is no. It's not a mainstream thing. And even if it was, they have the notwithstanding clause, which is basically like, you have rights until it's inconvenient for us. Wow. Isn't that great? We have rights until it's inconvenient for you. Oh, that bites. That really bites, doesn't it? But let's move on. Of course, politicians, they have strange things that they're into, and maybe strange things in their legacy. I mean, here's one about Chrystia Freeland. You can't forget this. This is actually true. Freeland knew her grandfather was an editor of a Nazi paper. Not just an editor, not just a collaborator. Wow. Okay. But hey, guilt to the father. We don't do guilt to the father. Wait, we do guilt to the father in Canada. Wait. How do we play this game? Do we play it on moral perspective, or do we play it on a thing that oh wow, just play the game the way they play it? Maybe not. We're not playing the game the way they play it, and the Conservative Party is winning. We're up 16 seats into a majority if the election was held tomorrow. This, you know what this tells me? This tells me that we're going to have an election in 2025. They'll do whatever they have to do. They'll pay the right people. They'll do whatever they got to do to make sure that that coalition stays sound and nobody votes non-confidence, because look at that. And I mean, Trudeau knows he's destroyed the party. He's got an agenda. It's the 2020, the 2030 agenda that he's trying to stretch as much into 2025 as possible. Don't forget, in 2025, in Canada, 20% of all cars will have to be fully electric from every auto manufacturer. It's going to leave some out, because I think Toyota even said they're not going to play that game. So no new Toyotas in Canada is how that works by implementation. But if that were the case, what's Trudeau's government going to do? Are they going to play do the Bill C-18 shenanigan thing again? What do you mean you're not selling your product in Canada? You're the one at fault, not our law. That's not the problem here. The problem isn't our law. This was only a week ago. It's a 48% chance if there's an election today that CPC minority would get in, a 43% chance of a majority, and the chance of Liberals winning anything is 8%. That's pretty sullied at this time, and it's because of stuff like this. We just can't. What?
Entirely consistent with predictions and repeated warnings. The only surprise is the speed of the change. The era of global warming has ended. The era of global boiling has arrived.
Oh, the global boiling. This is what's happening. This is what they're getting us with. The global boiling. It's just scare after scare after scare. And, you've got the heat... The heat dome. We've got more threats of COVID on the rise. This is just down the pipe. I really love this guy's coverage. He was forget about the heat dome. This guy had the moisture dome in Calgary. Check this out.
This is Jason James reporting from Calgary, Alberta. Tropical moisture has officially arrived. As you can see behind me, the downtown core has been swallowed by the moisture.
Swallowed by the moisture.
Moisture is intermittently falling from the sky, causing things to get very, very damp. Traffic is moving. People are trying to get out of the city. We don't know what's happening inside of the moisture dome. However, we can only speculate. Sharks, saber-toothed tigers, fires, escaped chimpanzees. I mean, it's absolute mayhem, just total chaos. I'm hearing reports that the McDonald's on 17th Ave has shut down as a safety precaution. But we're also hearing that the fryer may be down, and the maintenance guy had to reschedule for Thursday. Rescheduling potentially caused by climate change. It is currently a balmy 18 degrees out here, which we can only attribute to climate change. I'm wearing a light jacket to protect from the moisture, but I do feel like I may be more comfortable in a tank top or a half shirt of some kind. It's just absolute chaos out here. We haven't heard anything about rioting or looting yet, but we have sent cameramen to the urban neighborhoods where we expect the looting to begin. We can only hope that people stuck in the moisture dome can shelter in place or get out safely. If you are in the moisture dome, make sure you mask up and get your booster if you can. And that's it for now. Please send your thoughts and prayers to Calgary, Alberta. We're trapped in the tropical moisture. I don't know what we're going to do. I just hope everybody's safe out there. Back to you, Deborah.
That is unbelievable. Oh, unbelievable. Great parodies coming from Jason James. Get over there, follow him on Twitter. Jason James, good work, what you've been doing there. So I have a guest coming in, and I just need to set up all of the stuff that works here. So just bear with me for one moment here as I pull our guest in. I just need to make sure that the sources are all in the right places for this. But this was amazing that I was actually able to get in touch with Sharon from the Shoe Swap, as she is understandably very busy at the moment here. And I'm just trying to get her in here. Let's see if I can't get this working, because it is struggling at the moment for some reason, and I don't know why. I don't know why that is the case. Let's see what's going on here. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me as I try to make this happen impromptu as we go. Let's get the whoops. Let's get the chat back here while I fix this problem, this technical issue, as it's I'm not sure what happened there. I think things are working now. I just need to make an adjustment. I see what happened there. Switch to a laptop. Was on a mobile phone before, and we're just gonna get you in here just in a second. Just resizing things so we can have you join in. And here we go. Here we go. Thanks for joining me today, Sharon. Is your audio coming in okay? Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Perfect.
How are you, Clyde?
I'm doing good. And again, thanks so much for joining me. I understand you're busy, but you're locked down at the moment now, are you?
Well, we're not actually very busy right now.
Okay.
Sadly, unfortunately. We've been put a bit of a halt over here, but yeah.
So I want to introduce this real quick, because I got a hold of your Instagram, and on your Instagram, let's just get the web browser up. You've been taking footage of the police blockades and all of the things that have been happening in the shoe swap. Is it shoe swap or shoe swap area?
Yeah, we call it shoe swap, but shoe swap, yeah.
The shoe swap area.
Yeah.
Now, as
we say, swapping shoes.
Swapping shoes. So the thing that really got me the most with this whole thing was, this is another truly Canadian thing as it plays out, because a year and a half ago, the Freedom Convoy took off and went to Ottawa over the COVID pandemic mandates. People were upset with that, and the news wanted to just lie about it and just say that it wasn't a thing. Meanwhile, people were on the ground, were turning their Instagrams and their YouTube channels into reporting agencies. They were the sources of all the information that we were getting. And now we're running into these issues with forest fires, and we're being fed this narrative from the government and from these news agencies, and that's not actually what's happening on the ground. And you're a perfect example of what was going on with this. You're teased your Instagram. So BTs, tell me, what is that? That's your food truck?
So yeah, to make a long story short, it started out with a tea company, did tea infused food, and then now so that was the slogan to the tea company, Shoe Swap Infusions Tea, and then now BTs is now the name of the brand of our food truck. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And we are.
Do you do online products, by the way? Can we give a link to get you some more sales from our community here?
Shoe Swap Infusions Tea, is my small tea company. Yeah.
Oh, awesome! There's got to be a link here somewhere. Tea.
Yeah, www.shoeswap.
I'll make sure.
Infusions.com.
Okay, I'll make sure it's in the description down below so people can get over there and buy some stuff. It's amazing though, because I really appreciate that you're bringing these stories to people. You have your following there that are people that are tuning in because they want to know about your products and your business. But then all of a sudden now you're thrust in the middle of an event that's happening in Canadian history, and what's going on? This is what we want to know. We're all Canadians and we have no clue. We see the smoke and we're told climate change, you need to pay more carbon taxes, and that'll change everything. Just use my campaign bumper sticker, and nobody cares about the aftermath and what's actually going on. So what's actually happening on the ground? Can you Can you give us a rundown of what happened?
It's been a wild ride for sure. So, yeah, kudos to all the locals who stuck around. We figure there's probably about 300-ish that stayed to save our community and our homes. And then we had the structural fire team, fire and flood came in, and they did an amazing job as well. If it wasn't for those guys, 100% my house would have been gone, for sure. And yeah, and then yeah, it's been a lot of unfortunate political stuff got involved, and you know, with that potential peace, freedom, you know, crew that came into Sorrento 2 days ago, that put a halt to us. They pulled out every firefighter, and yeah, pretty much just I'm not sure. I mean, maybe tried to make a point. I don't know. You know, obviously they said it was a, you know, a threat safety issue for them, and that's why they did it. I think we all probably have other speculations on what was really happening there, but yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's hard for me. Yeah, we just really, the bottom line is right now, we just need to get those fires out, and, you know, the weather's changing again. You know, they definitely have, they have fire crews. BC Wildfire came back in today. I believe they came back in today. I'm still on lockdown. I'm literally not allowed to leave my yard still. We sat out on the road today with a thank you poster, and, you know, just sat drinking a beer in the driveway and saying thank you to everybody. And it was, yeah, it's heartbreaking. I mean, people are still coming here to eat, but not like we did 200 bag lunches a few days ago, and now we may be doing 20 tops. Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So how did this all start in the first place? I'm hearing different reports from different people saying, you know, this is arson and people were intentional, all the way from that to, you know, this is, you know, the official narrative is climate change caused this. Don't look anywhere. Look over here. This is the reason. Yeah. Is there any idea what went on?
Well, I mean, the word is, I can't say for sure, but the word is that the backburn did not go well. That Thursday night, we sat here. Actually, the mountain range that I'm looking at right now was where they backburned, and we watched it from my place Thursday night. And honestly, I actually trusted that they would get us all out in time. And then, you know, we sat here having dinner, and we were watching this fire burn. And we thought, okay, you know, I guess, you know, they're telling us that it's controlled, and they announced it, that it all went well. And then the next morning I wake up and I thought, you know, it's kind of hard to tell, like, daylight's a bit different than nighttime. You know, so I was like, I looked outside and I thought, you know, maybe it's kind of the same. Like, it didn't really seem like it was much more dangerous than it was the night before. And so I decided to open the food truck and just cook for people for free. I was like, you know, obviously you know, I just felt like, you know, I had the food here. I was here anyways. Let's just get these firefighters, you know, some food and feed them. Well, that lasted about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And they waited so long to give that order, which was really sad, because I watched the mountain, like, it had come down. We were watching it from here, and I was like, holy crap. Like, it was, I mean, I've never experienced a forest fire before, and you don't realize how intense it is until you're in it. I mean, I hope, you know, people don't have to go through something like this, but it was terrifying. They should have definitely got the order out way sooner than it was. I left with my daughter and her boyfriend, and I did leave for the first night, and then I came back the following day. But when we left, we were crossing over the bridge. We have one wooden bridge to get through. Well, we technically have two on the North Shuswap here, but we have a pretty significant one-way bridge that if that burns up, we are not getting out. So we were crossing that bridge, and there was flames like almost touching the bridge when we went over, and it was so scary. And so we fled, and it was so dangerous that I actually thought we better just go to Calgary. Like, I don't even trust being in the woods. Like, that's how terrifying it was. We ended up going to Sicamous in the morning, like all night, of course. Everybody was going nuts on social media and the news, and ended up blowing it, honestly, way out of proportion. Not way out of proportion. It was very scary, a very horrific thing that happened. But like Scotch Creek turned out to be in a way better spot than the news was putting it out to be. It was like, you know, Scotch Creek burnt down, there's nothing left. And so that's what got me started on wanting to video. So it started out just, you know, I came back the next morning and started feeding people, and Liz, the girl in my videos that you've seen probably the last couple videos, but her and I had never actually, we met one time before, maybe twice. They came here for her and her husband would come for dinner, but never really connected. And so she ended up being my sidekick. You know, she came here too to find something to do, and then she realized that I needed help. So yeah, she came and helped me. All the guys were out on foot. You know, our local, our locals were out on foot helping, I guess, illegally, you know,
Right.
according to everybody. Yeah. And so we were feeding them while they were out fighting. And and it was just horrible. It turned out to just be, that they just made us feel like we were criminals for, you know, bringing food and supplies and basic necessities. And it was not a fun feeling for sure.
So there's a state of emergency in British Columbia, and that was declared by David Eby. And so how does this work? There's all these RCMP come flooding into your town, and they say nobody gets to move, nobody gets to travel in and out of the place, and we're just gonna block things up, as if that's gonna solve the issue somehow. What's going on there?
It was unbelievable. I have never seen so many police cars, you know, unmarked police cars in my life out here. Like, this is, I mean, if I had to guess, I don't know, maybe there would be 30 to 40 cars out here. And, you know, our population, well, obviously our tourists all left, right? So our population is about 3,000 people from, you know, it's quite a large span, our whole North Shuswap. I can't remember how many kilometers it is offhand, but it's quite a large span of land. And so, you know, it was definitely an intimidation thing for sure. There's no reason to have this many. We're spending all these resources on cops that they say are, you know, people are looting. You know, honestly, I think that most people, if you were to ask, would rather have, you know, something in their house stolen than to have their whole house burned. So
Yeah.
it's just outrageous what has happened here, and I think there'll be some backlash for sure when we're all done this. But
So I saw reports that, and this was on Twitter or Instagram. Somebody put it out there. It was a video of a guy. There was a few guys with their trucks, and they had tanks in the back, and they were trying to open a fire hydrant, and the hydrant was off. What do you know? Any information about why, or that verify that like water actually was shut off?
so that potentially could be not true for the sake that, and I love the Raven boys. Don't get me wrong; those boys that posted that video, they're my family. But they,
I guess everybody knows
so
everybody in a 3,000
yeah,
person community,
they're,
right?
they're rock stars. Yeah, and definitely shop with them. Yeah, Raven is their tag. But so they, I was just told from a local firefighter just before this interview. I guess those hydrants are, I think they're gravity fed, and so they get emptied very fast. So I guess I don't think they can handle, and we're not hooked up to city water. If we had city water, it would be a whole new game. But we don't have city water here, so there was maybe some, you know, obviously the locals were already, you know, upset about some things that were going on, and you know, and you know, maybe some people are, including myself, uneducated about, you know, the things like the fire hydrants. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but that is what I was told today. And so, yeah, I mean, we'll go and get the facts straight on that.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole point of talking to people in the area, because there's a lot of speculation on what's been going on, and this a lot of people are likening this to what happened in Maui. If you hadn't heard, in the a giant part of their community had burned down, and a lot of people are asking, is this like did they let it happen kind of scenario? Because there's enough people with a vested interest in buying their property from them. So when the electric company, they find out that they didn't turn off the power lines when the power lines went down, and then when they didn't divert water to the town when they should have, and they had every capability of doing so, it puts a lot of people in this suspicious sort of camp of, what's going on? Why are the authorities coming in and thwarting our efforts to actually take care of the thing? And a lot of your videos kind of point in that direction without you giving a narrative to it at all. Like you're just filming people saying to the police, let us go put out fires over here. We can put out 30 little brush fires. It's not big, dangerous stuff. We're not pretending to be professionals or firefighters or anything like that. Yeah. What was the feel on the ground as the police were telling people that they can't even protect their own homes?
Yeah, and I mean, after the whole COVID thing and, the trucker convoy, I think a lot of people woke up after that, and, we were not leaving. There was no, and I said it to, I actually didn't get that one on video, but conservation got us on the water after one of my videos. Coming back from that, we tried to get that Cisco supply truck over here, and then the cops put a stop to it. And so, yeah, that was, it was just the police force and the lockdown is unbelievable. This is actually worse than COVID because we can't even get basic necessities here. So, I literally am, like the food smuggler and, smuggling in steel toe boots and whatever, whenever people text me, they're, Sharon, we need gasoline, or we need more water, like bottled water or food of any kind, they, I got so many text messages, and I would have to, I have like literally a contact list of boat smugglers and car smugglers, and, it's gone way too far.
Well, yeah, it's ridiculous at the point when, just basic necessities and providing for your community becomes illegal. And the police and the infrastructure that's set up to protect us is all aimed at us, and we can't do anything. And that's what a lot of people are really upset about, and where the parallels from the whole COVID feeling for a lot of people in people outside of British Columbia. I'm in British Columbia. I'm in Squamish on the coast, so we have a lot in common, and I could see a lot of it when looking at your Instagram. But we didn't get hit as bad with a lot of the COVID mandates, especially in small towns. We were just kind of like, all right, people aren't allowed to do this or that. Most people still went out in the bush and had their, bonfires and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just the way.
Yeah, we were gathering in people's houses and having little house parties, right? It's like, just stick with your own crew and
just don't tell nobody about it,
right? Yeah, totally. Nobody needs to know.
Yeah. So that was the feel in British Columbia, but for a lot of other Canadians, especially in like Quebec, Ontario, a lot of these places, they got hit really hard with the lockdowns. And now it seems like they're using this excuse to kind of put that same pressure on us here. So you've lived in the shoe shop, I'm guessing, for a long time?
Yeah, my whole life, yeah.
Okay, and you've experienced, nearby forest fires. There's been forest fires in like Kelowna and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Have you ever experienced anything like this where the police are so heavily sent out, yet not a lot of firefighters? I'm guessing that's the case.
No, yeah. It was honest, like all my friends were out in the woods, and they were literally, they said they were alone. It was just them. There was nobody to be found. Besides, mind you, I have to give credit to our local fire department. We have, what do we have? Scotch Creek, Solista, and Anglemont fire departments who, we just don't have the resources though. They don't have the equipment, and they're structural firefighters. They're not meant to fight forest fires. So even them, they were, kind of left in a, actually the one firefighter I talked to today, he said that they ended up losing all contact because their signals went down. So even each fire department couldn't even communicate with each other. So it was super scary for everybody, and they just had to including the structural firefighters, the private companies that got contracted out. Everybody ended up at one point just like leaving because it was that bad. There was nothing more that they could do. So they set up the structural stuff. And, there was obviously a few, well, not a few, but there's still quite a few locals that stayed on foot. But it was the scariest situation. I mean, I hope that hopefully we don't encounter anything larger than this.
Well, that's absolutely it. So what does it look like now, the fires, because you're still under lockdown? Forest fires don't really last that long. Once the fuel's burned up, that's about it, is it not? Like, why are you guys still in lockdown?
Well, so I'm confused too. I thought, we got power yesterday to our small little town. Further up the lake still doesn't have it, and further down as well doesn't have it. But I thought, well, why can't we just cruise around Scotch Creek and help deliver food and put out fires? Like, I don't know why, if we have power here, you would think that would be, we're deemed safe, I would think. So I don't know what, is like, are we waiting for them to tell us we're allowed to leave the property? We're all confused over here with what's really happening. So, yeah. I mean, Solista further up the lake, I can see there's probably, maybe potentially still a safety hazard. There are so many people on the road though, so I can't even see that being true. I mean, we sat on the road today, and there's car after car, Hydro and Shaw, and the firefighters that are. I just heard maybe some Mexican firefighters are coming tomorrow. I don't. That's what I'd heard though. Could maybe not be true. I just saw that just right before I got on this with you, but so we'll. Yeah, I mean, there is so many cars. I'm like, wow, I've never seen Scotch Creek busier. You think that it would be our 30,000 tourists out here right now.
Right.
But yet it's not we're deemed to not be safe to drive on the road.
It's not safe for because that's
well,
just...
they're saying it's looting, right? But we all know everyone that's here right now are, loyal locals. Besides, there is one tiny small crew, but we know where they live. And everyone's got eyes on them, so yeah, we know who the good people are here.
I just don't see the benefit outweighing the detriment to these policies. If they're just shutting the roads down, not letting locals travel anywhere, it almost, I mean, the more conspiratorial person might say, like, they're doing this on purpose. They're trying to get us used to this whole concept of that, but like, it just doesn't make any sense. It seems like a real dereliction of duty. It seems like they're fumbling over themselves, and I think it's the old famous quote: the scariest thing to ever hear is "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." Right? It's like, leave me alone. No thanks.
Yeah, don't come near me.
Yeah, and it seems to be a big case like that. So yeah, hopefully you can keep us informed. I'll keep in touch with you, and we can keep things going. And for everybody who wants to go check it out at Be Teased on Instagram here. You can check this out. I noticed your hat. You wear hats like I do, and I was wondering if you wanted another one.
I always want hats.
I can send you one of these if you're keen on that. I have we just made some for the channel, and they look like the same as what you normally wear. So
I love it. We'll trade.
Yeah, I'll have to. Oh, you have hats for your business?
Yeah.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
was my hat. Actually, it was black on black, but it does say BTs. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, let's do a trade. I'll send you my address. You send me yours, and we'll make that happen for sure.
You won't be able to get it until I'm allowed to escape from here, but.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Well, keep us posted on when that will happen, because this is now the time where it's going to get most interesting for a lot of people, because people are worried about the overreach. This is why a lot of people watch the channel that I produce videos on. You're not familiar with my channel, and I understand that totally. But
no, and I'm going to start watching it now.
Oh, cool, cool. So a lot of people watch the channel because I focus on government and their overreach that they've been doing since COVID and even before that, and we're just kind of getting used to it more and more. And a lot of people are going to be interested in the coming days and weeks on what happens to you guys in the Shuswap. Because, well, are they going to hang on to these lockdowns for you guys, or are they going to let it go as soon as possible? And that's really where a lot of people's interests are.
Well, yeah, I mean, even COVID, we, out here it wasn't this strict. So, this is intense. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like the last day it's been a little more lenient. It sounds like there's more people that are coming over here. Yeah, like this is what my yard looks like right now. We do have some people over here for dinner. Don't mind my restaurant is in shambles because we had just. But there are some people.
Oh, that's awesome! I love it. Oh. Oh, that's amazing.
But yeah. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, we're waiting to see too. Honestly, we're trying to just keep it cool. We need to fight this fire, and that's most important. And then we'll go from there. So we'll be definitely posting some more stuff after this is done.
Well, sounds great. I'll keep in touch with you, and we'll get more information for everybody that's just looking to see what's happening. And I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much to take the time out of your day to inform other Canadians on what's going on in Canada here.
Well, I think it's so important too. You're obviously sharing the real news, and even my mom is, love her to bits. She falls into the, she's easily gullible, and I always said, Mom, that I'm in this. I am literally, now that what the news is portraying is not actually the full truth, right? So this is where it's so important for people to, to get the real facts, before
I let you go. You reminded me of something, and I'd be remiss to not ask you. What was the story about this convoy freedom people, or what was that whole thing about?
So whether, someone speculated that maybe it was from them watching my, people like myself that were sharing the real. Can you see me okay? I feel like I'm glitching.
No, I can see you perfectly. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, just people like myself sharing, the real truth about what's happening has now, like the trucker convoy movement, people are, they're wanting to help, do something for us, because what they're doing to me and to us who are on lockdown is obviously wrong. I think any human being knows that, kind human being anyways. So yeah, I think it maybe it did want them to, want to reach out and start something like this. I personally had nothing to do with it, but yeah, I can only imagine. I remember I followed the trucker thing and was cheering them on, and yeah, there's a lot going on here that more people need to wake up. But
yeah, absolutely. So there was a group of people that confronted the police. Is that something that happened, or? It
was literally, I watched the clip. It was like 20 people, and they had about double the amount of cops. And they had, spike belts out, and they made it way bigger than it ever needed to be. I definitely, they're just protecting us and trying to help us, get our basic freedom back. And, do I blame them? No. Was it bad timing? For sure. It was definitely bad timing for us. It really just ended up hurting us in the end, because they pulled out all of our firefighters that morning. Yeah,
that sounds like such a threat, though. That sounds like such an arbitrary thing to do. You have people that want to support you, so we're gonna pull your firefighters after we told you you're not allowed to fight the fires. Like, that's like what we're gonna burn your houses down. Like, what are they saying in that?
Yeah,
by doing that?
And I'm not. Yeah, as a local, that's totally how we felt. We felt again abandoned twice now. How I was shocked. I actually didn't believe it until I got a call from a really good source that evening, and he said, Sharon, they pulled us out. They literally pulled us out. And I'm like, what do you? No way. I was like, this rumor is actually true. I just couldn't believe it. I said, why the heck would they do that? That doesn't make any sense to me. And then they're, on TV and everything, they're saying it was they were scared for their safety. Well, yeah, anyways.
Yeah, that doesn't sound.
Yeah,
it sounds like revenge is what it sounded like, and that's.
Yeah.
And that's
it definitely makes you feel like it's revenge. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, holy cow. I hope there's no more hiccups in this whole thing. For anybody out there that wants to give support, let's find different ways to give support. How about we go over to BT's website and we buy a whole bunch of tea, buy a whole bunch of product. I think that would be a great way to support. Don't be upset if there's a delay, because there's currently on lockdown. So if there's a delay on the products,
the shipping delay might be. Yeah.
but definitely give that support. Can you say again what the website is, so we can
it's that one's shuswapinfusions.com.
shuswapinfusions.com. Okay,
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then obviously I'll give the link for the Instagram so people can follow you there. But I love seeing people come in good ways to support people in the community, and by giving you more business, I think that would be a great way to support you guys there.
Thanks, Clyde.
All right. Well, and I look forward to keeping in touch.
Hats.
Yeah, we'll trade hats. I've got your number, so I'll send you my address. You send me yours, and we'll do that.
Okay.
Thanks again for joining me this evening, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, that's amazing. Holy cow. I'm so excited that I was able to get a hold of Sharon tonight so we can have that conversation. That was just so good. So good. When you can get in touch with people right down on the ground and you can get the actual story of what's happening there, this is telling the news. This is how people can portray what's actually happening instead of the propaganda that we normally get. And again, this was a big case of that, as they were spreading fear, misinformation, all kinds of things. Here's the article from the this is the Toronto Star saying BC fire crews temporarily pulled out as protest tried to overwhelm the RCMP blockade. Well, what are the RCMP blockading people for? And spike strips? We're hearing about that now? What is this? This is just unbelievable. So there's 20 people showed up to say, you know what? You guys got to give people their rights back. You got to stop blockading them in their homes. What kind of response do we get? We get the media jumping in lockstep with authorities to demonize these people and say awful things, and then pull the support when they're locked in and they're not allowed to fight the fires themselves, and then pull the firefighters from the hillsides where they live. This is just outrageous. If this doesn't get people riled up, I don't know what will. And I'm not trying to rile people up. I'm just trying to show people what's really happening here. And it's just, holy cow, it gets too much for me. I'm gonna catch up on some of these super chats, and I'm sorry if I missed any while we were chatting there, but I got JD with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much. First time super chatter, by the way. Thanks, Clyde, for what you do. God bless Sharon. Why is the government able to suspend our freedoms and rights as an individual whenever they see it fit? It's government's responsibility to get everyone out, but after, that's the individual. And I would agree with that. It's, it's their job to protect people. And if people willingly want to, leave the area, they'll willingly leave the area. And if they can facilitate in that, that's great. But if people don't want to leave and they want to stay with their place, that's a risk that they want to assume on their own. Over and over again, when you listen to the police talking and saying it's a liability if you're in the forest, it's a liability. A liability to who? A liability to the individual that goes into the forest to try to put fires out. And I understand, and don't take this lightly. There are dangers if you go into an area where there's actively fires, or even actively were fires, because trees can become weakened, and then you won't be able to. You never know if a tree will fall over because it's structurally weakened, and you can be injured. Branches can fall down and hit you. Things like that. Sierra Delta with a $2 super chat. Hi, Clyde. Check your P.O. box. Something is there. I did check my P.O. box and I grabbed the package. I haven't opened it yet. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Carl Rick with a $5 super chat. Thanks, Clyde, for the job you do. Well, thank you. Thank you for allowing this to be what it is. And this is, I can't thank you guys enough. It's this community that keeps this all happening. I wake up every day and I do this, but I do this because you guys are waiting for the videos, and that's what keeps me going. And it's amazing, because I don't know if I wouldn't have the drive that I have if it was for, just for not, you know what I mean? It would be a lot more difficult for me to do something like that. Clyde, is a fire sale on your hats? Is there a fire sale on my hats? Well, Sharon's going to be getting a fire sale. She's going to be getting a free hat. I'm going to send that one over to her. But yeah, for you guys that are just tuning in, the hats are available. And as well as hoodies and shirts. I did make sure to call, order. This is why I have a few, because I was ordering them just for to make sure that the quality was good before I went ahead and put the store out. And this is I think quality is more important for everybody. I'd rather people, if they put on a shirt, it feels comfortable, it's a nice one. When they get it, then they'll want to wear it more. And then, you know, then I feel proud because they're wearing my stuff that they wanted in the first place. Al Stewart with a $20 super chat. Keep up the great work, Clyde. Just curious if you and Simon Hergott made contact. Were you able to watch any of his fire-related videos? So I got into some of his fire-related videos, and I did make contact with him. He's got a lot of stuff going on at this moment. He's all, I don't think he's in a permanent living situation, and so he was like, I can't come on the show just yet. I'd love to once everything's going on. I think he sent me in the direction of talking to a few other people that he interviewed for his documentaries. But what an amazing filmmaker Simon is. Definitely recommend it. Do you have the links for those, Al Stewart? Or maybe I could just pop them up real quick, because I think people need to go check those out. That's under Simon. Sorry, I'm typoing. Simon Hergott. I don't know if he's pronouncing that correctly, but yes, he has an amazing channel where he's got some really, really good documentary videos that are out. What do we have here? He's got a bunch of other stuff as well as his documentary works. But if you go, where are we? This is the Valley Destroyed. Excellent video here. But I would definitely recommend more people go over Fireproof Forest. More great videos there to check out. But yeah, definitely worth the recommend. And I hope someday to be able to get him on to talk about the stuff that he's been working on. Steve's Hyde with a $5 super chat. Next week, I'll be visiting family in America, so I'll miss the show. Here's one for the next week, Clyde. And thank you, friends, for this community. Well, you don't have it's worldwide broadcast, so you can just check your phone. It might be on there. But yeah, if you're busy, I understand. No, definitely enjoy your time in the U.S. Enjoy time with family for sure. Robert Mafallen with the $10 super chat. You can say something in the chat. I'll be sure to read it out. Thank you so much for the super chat there, my friend. Clyde, you should start a cult. Lol. Well, hello. We love the truth. I'm not going to start any cults, that's for sure. I'm not going to get into that, but there are some cults starting, and there's the cult of statism is what I'm thinking it is. And what do they worship at? They worship at the altar of climate change, and it's unbelievable, because these are the people that call you science denier when you don't trust the science. You know, the lockdowns of COVID. Trust the science. Trust this. Trust that. Why? How can I trust you? We've been sold a bill of goods. We've been sold an absolute bill of goods. I think one of the next slogans for a shirt we're gonna put on there is ecological, not environmental. Like, I think we can actually try to fix our ecology, keep clean drinking water, keep clean rivers and creeks and lakes. This is something we can work on. We don't have to be death cult people celebrating this weird and what else do you call it but a death cult? It's misanthropic. For people who don't know that word, it means that you hate human beings. So it's a misanthropic death cult that worships Gaia, essentially, the Mother Earth, and wishes for people to no longer be around, as they say, a doomsday cult. There you go. This doomsday cult, and they just thrive on doomsday, and that doomsday never comes. You know that, right? Like, most people need to clue into this, and I think more and more people are cluing in all the time that, yeah, we should clean up our act. We should clean up our. And here's the thing: we are leaders in the world. You look at Vancouver, even just 20 years ago, the haze over the town because of cars and whatnot. Now we've cleaned up our act. We've got modern cars with modern emissions, stuff on them, and we don't have that low-hanging ozone that we used to have hanging over our cities anymore. Michael McLean with a $2 super chat. Bureaucrats going to safety us to death. Yeah, it's all for your safety. But here's the thing, and this has been said many, many times before. If you trade your liberty for security, which is safety, you'll end up with neither. And that's a famous quote. I don't remember who said it because it's been repeated so often, but I think that one should resonate with most people in especially in this community. But I wanted to take a minute to show one of the clips, because this was a clip from the Instagram, but I think I have a copy of it here. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it is quite long. It is actually quite long. I did a short this just today. For those that didn't see the short, here I'm going to show this short because I think this one kind of sets the stage for what's happening over there in the Shuswap. But this is what's happening right now. The people of Shuswap, British Columbia, Canada are no strangers to fighting wildfires on their own, but this time they've been met with RCMP blockading the roads.
So I'm going to be arrested if I go across that bridge? Why are we wasting these resources right now on this?
That's just the way it is.
Like, you don't understand. Like, yeah, save your house, but when that bush is behind and I can run out there with a shovel and buckets of water and put out 30 spot fires in a day, when I
save that old lady's house,
I can save 10 people's houses.
Not only have they restricted their travel, but in some areas they've shut off the water.
Somebody on Facebook or Instagram could tell me why there's no water in the water hydrant. You're gonna tell me it's because of power. It's possible, but I'm very, very suspicious.
And we're led to believe that authorities have our best interest at heart. That's that clip from today. Al Stewart with a $20 super chat. Thanks, Clyde. Rural property owners need to equip themselves and have the capacity to protect their homes and communities during fire season. Simon's videos demonstrate that the way we fight forest fires needs to change. I absolutely agree with you there. And there's more information out there as well. Some of the people that I've been sharing in the videos that I've put out. I'd have to go back. I can't remember names specifically, and I apologize for that. But people coming forward and saying we've been doing forestry management wrong for about 100 years, and what we've been doing is with fire suppression is leaving the forests with giant fuel loads, which is catastrophic. When we have fire seasons, they get worse. They're getting worse. It's not that they're happening more frequently. They're happening just as frequently as they were, if not less frequent. And that's actually one of the slides that I was going to get into, because some of this stuff is actually happening way less frequently. And where is that slide? Because I had it. Here it is. Canada is having the worst year for wildfires. Area burned in million hectares each year since 1983. Now, this is an interesting part about this graph that's pointed out by Zachary Tisdale. Interesting, almost no wildfires in 2020 when everyone was staying home. Huh? Yeah, there you go. There you go. There's that COVID year. Right there. Look there was almost no wildfires. Why? That's it's almost as if most wildfires are caused by human negligence or arson, not climate change. Also interesting that 2023 is abnormally high right after the World Economic Forum said it was going to start ramping up climate alarmism. Now, I mean, I'm not going out there and saying that, accusations of arson, but as wildfires are happening all over the world, so is arson. Here's Greece. Wildfires, 79 people arrested for arson in Greece. This is from the BBC. Greece wildfires, 79 people arrested for arson as people are losing their homes here. Residents check their rooms. Subscribe to BBC that's paid for by tax dollars in Britain. Greece has called out arsonist scum after police made 79 arrests over wildfires ravaging the country. Civil Protection Ministers Vesils, not going to pronounce that right, said there had been several attempts by arsonists to start new fires on Mount Parnitha, northwest of Athens. The blaze is one of hundreds in the nation where wildfires have already killed at least 20 people this week. You are committing a crime against your country, said that leader. Arsonist scum are setting fires that threaten forest property and most of all human lives. But this is where it's coming from. This is why you have guys from the UN coming out and saying, this is the era of global boiling. They're going to have people running from the fires. Well, why? Why do fires start? Fires don't start from a couple of degrees of temperature warming. And the soil beds aren't drying like that much to the point where everything's like tinder. Forest fires happen all the time, but to this degree is where things get very, very questionable, and it makes me wonder what's actually going on. Ferryman's Toll on Twitter pointing this one out. They literally used an image of people committing arson as a propaganda for their climate change arsons. Climate is everything. How the pandemic can lead us to a better, greener world. Wait, what? How is the pandemic going to lead us to a better, greener world? Is that because people aren't allowed to go outside? You think maybe that's the reason? You think maybe that has something to do with it? This is really, really, it's troublesome. It's troublesome to a lot of people. And I understand why there's so much mistrust. There's so much mistrust. Here in British Columbia, for example, in British Columbia, we were told 2 weeks to flatten the curve, right? That was the story. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Well, did we get 2 weeks to flatten the curve? No, we had more weeks, more and more weeks before it was more than 2 years of lockdowns. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Get out of here. 2 weeks. Where were they? And what did they do? They told us we didn't have enough hospital beds. And I remember that specifically here in British Columbia. We just don't have enough hospital beds. If people go out, they'll get sick, and then they'll go to the hospital and they'll fill up all the beds. So everybody stayed home and they locked themselves in. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And what happened? Well, that 2 weeks turned into 2 years. And you think, right? So, and it's perfectly reasonable to say this. If they're predicting more forest fires, what would they do with their budgets? They would lean heavy to supplementing and increasing the budgets for fighting forest fires in the future. Because if there's more forest fires because of global warming, we should have more resources, right? There'll be tons more resources at our disposal. Hey, you know what? It was all a mistake, and now we just have too much resources for forest fighting. Oh, okay, no problem. Whatever. I guess we'll just live with that. It seems a little wasteful, but you know what? Better safe than sorry, right? Well, no, they're telling us we're going to have more forest fires, and we're going to cut the budgets of every province for forest fire fighting. Why? Over $800 million was the budget used in 2021 for British Columbia. We don't have the budget numbers for 2023, what was used, or 2022. What was budgeted for 2023? $30 million. 32 to be exact. Instead of the 800 million. If we were going to have an increase in forest fires, don't you think we would need more money? No. They decreased the budget. And this is happening all over Canada. The budgets are decreasing everywhere. So when they say 2 weeks 2 weeks. It makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. Where else are they saying 2 weeks? Oh, here we go. Atlanta College reinstates mask mandates for students, employees, and everybody else. What are they saying? They're saying the mask mandate is precautionary move for the next 14 days. How long is 14 days? How long is 14 days? It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's right. 14 days. Just 14 days to flatten the curve. 14 days to flatten the economy. 14 days. This is the game they keep playing. A fortnight. Yeah, that's right. A fortnight. A fortnight. Unbelievable. I can't believe that, people are gullible. It's a whole month, Clyde. No, but this is the thing. This is the thing. And people are gullible, and they're buying right into it. And yeah, people are upset. Yeah, people are upset, and they're saying, no, I don't want any of this. I don't want any part of this. And we don't care if we have to take on more responsibilities. We don't care if this is what we're gonna have to do stuff to, just bite the bullet, make it happen, make it work. Because what's the alternative? The alternative is going back to COVID lockdowns. Or what else are we going to go back to or go into? Climate lockdowns? Are we going to go into economic downturn lockdowns? Don't think that couldn't happen. Don't think that couldn't happen. Here's Justin Trudeau saying what he wants to do.
What we learned from this COVID crisis, we will be applying to the climate crisis, to the housing crisis, to reconciliation, to making sure that everyone has good jobs and careers that carry them through and create opportunities for their kids.
Carry opportunities to their kids of what? Staying locked down for their whole lives? What opportunities have we been given? We haven't been given any opportunities over the past 3 years here in Canada. We've been watching things go downhill. Like I said earlier in the episode, earlier in this live stream, people from the Ukraine are leaving. They're leaving en masse to get out of Canada, go back to war-torn Ukraine. Why? Because they can't deal with the economic situation here in Canada. Again, pop this up on the screen for people who weren't in the stream when we talked about this earlier. More Ukrainians ditching Canada due to the high cost of living. When living in the middle of a proxy war between the West and Russia is more appealing than Canada. This is a wake-up call. People, folks, this is a wake-up call. I keep getting calls from my friends that live in America that are saying, Clyde, you're a dual citizen. What are you doing? What are you doing? You've got a golden ticket. Get out. Get out. It's hard not to. It's not hard not to just jump on that. It really is. I hear people telling me like, you have no idea. It's so much better down here. But I think they have their own problems. Look at what they're doing with they're throwing the former president of the United States in jail right now, or they're trying to, just so that he can't run against Sleepy Joe, against a serial criminal that was just handpicked to be in office because nobody else was even appealing. As if Joe was the most appealing choice in America for them. Holy cow. What world? It's all theater, Clyde. Yeah, it's all theater. It totally is. Oh, will they bring CERB back then? Yeah, they've been wanting to. They've been wanting to. It's called Universal Basic Income, and that's on the plate. That's on the plate. You know, when you've got your digital ID. And don't tell me that this isn't it. I know it sounds conspiratorial, but it sounds conspiratorial until you listen to what they actually say. Like, I'm talking government officials. They're saying, yeah, we're working on central bank digital currencies. The central bank set out a questionnaire for Canadians. It wasn't really a questionnaire. It was more of a a piece to try to convince you that central bank digital currencies would be better. Oh, you don't have cash. You can't get robbed if you don't have cash. Well, I got a bank card. It's fine. I don't need your central bank digital currency. I got a bank card. I'm not going to get robbed. Yeah, take my bank card. What are you going to do with it? Take my Visa. What are you going to do with it? I don't need a central bank digital currency. And it's... oh, the Alex Jones conspiracy theories that just keep coming true. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And what was his most recent one? Well, he got contacted by the TSA that said they're going to do their best to bring back COVID. This fall, it's all coming back. Here it is. We've got a new mutated strain, and it's going to get us all. This is the new world that we live in here in Canada.
For a look at some health concerns on the horizon as we approach the end of summer, including a rise in COVID cases and questions about updates to vaccines, we're joined now by former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb. He also sits on the board of Pfizer, and it's great to have you here in person, Doctor.
Thanks a lot.
I want to start on some news we got.
Did anybody miss that? I don't know if everybody caught that, but he also does what? He's a doctor, and he also does what?
He also sits on the board of Pfizer, and it's great to have you here in person, Doctor.
Thanks a lot.
Cool.
I want to start on some news we got Thursday. The CDC announced a highly mutated strain of COVID has just shown up in Michigan, BA 2.86.
Just in time for the election.
How concerned does the public need to be?
Well, right now, I've talked to a number of virologists who are usually pretty staid, and they're pretty concerned about it.
I've talked to a number of them. Hey, wink, wink, nod, nod. Money, money, money. Here it comes. Let's force everybody to get these things.
Right now, it doesn't appear to be spreading widely. There's 7 strains that have been identified and sequenced in 5 different countries, so the UK, Denmark, Israel, and now in the US. We don't know whether or not this has been spreading quietly and we just didn't detect it, or it's something that's spreading very quickly. The concern is that when you look at these different strains that have been identified,
it's spreading quietly and quickly, and nobody even knows about it. Hey, you know what you call that? Ineffective. You call it nothing to worry about. But whatever. Hey, you do you. You do you. And tell us a bunch of BS. We got a couple of super chats here. Robert McFallon with the $5 super chat. Clyde, I love the Canada of my youth. It's worth fighting for. I agree with you. I miss the Canada of my youth. I miss the 1990s. I miss the innocence of it. I miss, not having to be so hypercritical of everything. Be able to go to a movie, have the suspension of disbelief when Superman flies around the planet the wrong way, and everybody just goes, yeah, of course, time goes backwards if you move the planet the wrong way. I miss those days when you could just, live with your naivety because the world wasn't out to get you. But the problem is, things are out to get us at the moment, and it really is unfortunate. But yeah, let's bring it back to that. Let's bring it back there, where we don't have to watch out for our kids, because the entertainers are not trying to do bad things to them. I don't even want to articulate that one. Kevin Watson with the $10 super chat. The Great Reset Playbook. It's literally a timeline and a schedule play-by-play plan. I will not comply. Yes, do not comply is the name of the game. This is what it's all about. Do not comply. I'm going to make a note of that, just so I have it here in physical form. Do not comply. Just make a note of that. Just make a note and stick it somewhere. Just sticky stick, put that there, and leave that there for people to see, because it's worth noting. Absolutely. Thank you, Kevin Watson, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Do not comply. This is just ridiculous.
they're genetically very similar. So that suggests that it's probably spreading simultaneously in multiple countries. Whether or not this is going to be more transmissible than what we've seen before, that's the key question. Certainly at this point, it doesn't appear more pathogenic, so it doesn't appear to be more dangerous, but it may be more transmissible than the strains that are circulating now, and in that case, it could overtake them. It's too early to know. The testing's underway. I think we're going to know a lot more in a week or two, but to again put this in perspective, this new variant is as genetically different from Omicron as Omicron was from the original strain that emerged in Wuhan. So this is a highly mutated variant.
And that set off.
As they do, mind you. This is 3 years after a pandemic. Yeah, you're going to have a very genetically different pathogen. This is just, that's high school virology. You know, this isn't like, doctorate virology. This is just the way it works.
Some alarm bells at that time. So we will watch this, but for people at home who say, oh my gosh, I've heard someone has COVID, the strain that's causing most infections is not this one.
Right. So right now, the 2 strains that are circulating causing most of the infections is what's called EG5. People have probably heard about that. It's called the Eris strain. And this other strain, FL151. They both have a very similar mutation in them called the 456 mutation that allows them to pierce the immunity that we've acquired from prior infections and also from prior vaccinations. So people are getting infected with that. The good news is that where we are right now relative to where we were last.
And then we'll become immune to that one too when we get infected with it. That's the thing. You can't. Nobody's ever made a vaccine for the common cold because it was just ludicrous. Because by the time they develop the vaccine for the common cold, it'll already be just obsolete. It doesn't make sense. Eat me with the $5 super chat. It is the, sorry, I can read that again. It is the scarening 2.0. Yeah, they're trying to scare us again. Absolutely. Chris B with the $2.79 super chat. The notwithstanding clause must go. Absolutely. But if you open up the, if we have a constitutional convention, now is not the time. We need to get rid of the government that we have. They'll just make it worse. Yeah, never open up the Constitution when there's a Trudeau in office. I think that should be a slogan.
As someone BA5 was spreading is a lot better. So there's far fewer infections. We have probably roughly about 600,000 infections a day happening based on the modeling work that's been done, looking at wastewater data. And there's about...
Why do they look at wastewater data? Do you remember this? This is so funny. They look at wastewater data because they stopped looking at people coming to the hospital saying I'm sick from the thing. When people are not reporting that they have it and people don't even know that they have it, they don't even have symptoms that they have it, they start looking at wastewater and they start looking at how much of the pathogen is in the wastewater because you don't even know you got it. If you don't know you got it, there's no point in protecting people against it. It's not affecting them. It's so crazy. It's so crazy that this is the world we live in. What is wrong with us? What is wrong with people that they buy it? That they buy into this? It's just so ludicrous.
10,000 people that have been hospitalized in the last week. And to compare that to last year at this point, we had 40,000 people hospitalized and we were running probably about 1.2 million infections a day.
Well, for those strains.
A lot of people get hospitalized every day for stuff. And this is the point that I was getting to with the forest fires and them not putting the prevention. In British Columbia, we were told we need more hospital beds. That's what we need. We don't have enough hospital, or we don't have enough hospital beds 2 weeks to flatten the curve. How many, if we had a shortage, we had a shortage then, how many new hospital beds do you think they made? In the last 3 years, 0. They made 0 new hospital beds in British Columbia. Unbelievable. Sierra Delta with a $2 super chat. COVID EG? Question mark. Back in my day, EG was a Honda Civic. Yeah. Oh man, they're just pushing it.
There is a booster shot that I know Pfizer has talked about coming to market soon. It's still not available. When do we expect it, and does it protect against these variants?
Right. So the data looks like the new booster, which is based on BA 1.15, which was the strain that emerged last spring, looks like it will protect against these new variants. Now, my guess is these new variants, this infection rate from...
You got a 1 in whatever 30 chance of getting myocarditis, but whatever. You won't get the common cold, You won't get the common cold. The old ticker might not be doing so hot afterwards, but you won't get that common cold. Why? Holy cow. Holy cow. If they mandate this stuff, forget it. Forget it. We'll have to come up with a new system entirely.
And this wave of infection from EG5 is going to be coming down by the time the new vaccine's available, which is going to be mid-September. So September 12th has been the date that they've talked about, but it's going to be some point in mid-September that these will be widely accessible in pharmacies and other health departments, and so people can go out and get it. There's studies underway right now, what's called neutralization studies, basically laboratory studies, to look at whether the new vaccine also covers this BA.286 variant that you talked about at the top of the show.
And we're greasing palms as we speak. We're greasing palms, making sure that those studies go in our favor. If you know what I mean. If you know what I'm saying.
And we'll have that data by the time the new vaccines become available. So by the time these are out in September, consumers will know how well it covers that new variant.
Spoiler, it does. You know, it doesn't really, or may not really, but spoiler, it does. Bernard Hutchinson, thank you for the 279 super chat. Say something in the chat if you wanted me to read that out. That'd be great. Yeah, just do that. No problem. Thank you so much for that super chat.
We'll also probably know whether or not it's spreading.
And Moderna has one, and perhaps
and Pfizer,
others.
and Novavax is.
You hear that? No, Moderna has one, and Pfizer, and yeah, the place I work for.
And perhaps
and Pfizer,
others.
and Novavax, know how well it covers that new variant. We'll also probably know whether or not it's spreading.
And Moderna has one, and perhaps
and Pfizer,
others.
and Novavax as well.
For sure. I'm just making sure that you know that Pfizer's got one, you know, because he works for Pfizer. Just throwing that one out there. Here's Dr. Jordan Peterson, who's in hot water this week, and we did a video about that. I don't know if there's much more to cover on that story, but if you haven't heard, the College of Psychologists is going after him politically. They want to remove his license, and they want to force him into re-education. Godsad has an excellent video Trish Prue sent me just yesterday, talking about being part of the re-education camp. Go watch that. Godsad, amazing guy, hilarious, and excellent author. But Jordan Peterson piping in about this. In a society with no corrupt legacy media, every headline would announce this in letters 2 inches high. From the CDC itself, new COVID variant more likely to infect the vaccinated. That is pretty damning of all of that stuff. Yes, it is a struggle session. Who said that? This is Odin. Yeah, it's struggle sessions. Absolutely, for sure. But BA.2.86, is Jimmy Fallon going to be writing another song about this? Oh no, they're on strike. Good. Stay on strike forever. Thanks. May be more capable of causing infection in people who have previously had COVID-19 or who have received COVID-19 vaccines. Scientists are evaluating the effectiveness of forthcoming updated COVID-19 vaccine CDC's, and then it keeps going. But yeah, new COVID variant more likely to infect the vaccinated. Wow. That's something else. Scott Adams just did a great short on JP and Canada. Can link if you want. Yeah, link it. We'll go out on that one. Yeah, link it. Link it in the chat if you can. If the mods will allow it. No, allow that one. I don't think there's any restrictions on links. There shouldn't be, or maybe there. I don't know. Tell me if the link works or it does not work. But yeah, Scott Adams, for those who don't know, he was canceled a while back because he said some stuff about some statistics, and that didn't go over very well for him. And he jumped to some conclusions that were not PC in any way. Only mods can link usually. A womp. I don't know if I can find the Scott Adams short. Scott Adams. Yeah, I don't know if there's any shorts. Oh, there's too many. He's there's way too many. I'm probably not going to be able to get that one, unfortunately. Just the way it goes. But yeah, Scott Adams. He, of course, is the creator who invented Dilbert, the cartoon Dilbert. And he's gotten himself in a lot of hot water, but he's a funny commentator guy. He does morning coffee live streams for people. Bernard Hutchinson with a $6.99 super chat. We need to turf the monarchy of Charles III and become a constitutional republic with a constitution and not a useless charter. I agree with that. I'm actually a much bigger fan of a constitutional republic than I am with the parliamentary system. That's just me. I mean, people could disagree with me on that one. But even if we kept the parliamentary system and ditched the king and ditched the monarchy, I don't, they say it's a ceremonial role, but at the end of the day, it really does have weight. And, I'm not too keen on that. I really am not too keen on that. I'm a much bigger fan of how the thought process behind, and I mean, do yourself a favor if you haven't done this. Go back and read some stuff from John Locke. Go read. John Locke is just an excellent read, but go back even to Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Paine. The book Common Sense is a big inspiration for me. He lays out a lot of his thoughts, and this is where a lot of his thinking came from that was brought into writing the Constitution of the United States at the time. Eat Me with a $2 super chat. 8 mice's test for the new booster. Scientific. That's right. But yeah, Common Sense. What a fantastic book, and he goes into the philosophy behind why he came up with the sort of ideology that he holds in that book. Fascinating for me because I grew up in a Christian background. Never been a very religious person, I'm not a very religious person anyway. But I don't shun religion at all. I like my Christian upbringing. But what I thought was fascinating was he has an entire chapter on the Book of Judges, and it's like a critique of how the Book of Judges was actually laid out for the Jewish people at the time, and he modeled a lot of that based on that. The whole idea that society shouldn't be run by a kingdom. It's so fascinating that it's such an old concept of not being under a central authority, and this was brought about by the Jewish people. If you believe in it, it was brought about by God, and this was bestowed upon them to say, no, I won't give you a king. What you shall have is a land where you have essentially arbiters. Like there's arbiters of justice. You have judges. Rip Clyde drowned in Meek Lake. What? So you have judges, and the whole idea behind the Book of Judges is the concept that society would run better if it wasn't done from the top down. If people were made to get along with each other, and then in the times that they have conflict, that a third party who's an independent of those people, so someone who doesn't know either and has no bend in the direction or the bias of people in either direction, would be an arbiter in that situation. A judge would have you, right? And in that situation, they would cast judgment over a ruling. And then, in the Jewish tradition, they have like precedent and stuff like that, or precedents, and you can get the concept of where this whole system came from, and it actually came from a religious source. It's amazing. And when people say like one nation under God, a lot of it really, really has its roots in this. So for a lot of people that are atheists or agnostic, it's incredible incredibly naive to take the stuff that we've learned over centuries and throw it out like with the baby with the bathwater. You know what I mean? So I really hold that stuff in high esteem. I say everybody should go back and read some of the books from some of the people that came up with the most interesting concept in human history. That was an incredible experiment that was at such great risk, giving power away to the individual to allow for them to not only allow for them, but give them the right to bestow upon them based on inalienable rights, the rights that you hold from your creator, the rights that you are endowed upon you from this concept, right? What an incredible thing. Washington could have become a king, and he didn't. And these incredibly sophisticated people, and I say that not lightly, sophisticated, because it takes a lot of not only a lot of swallowing your pride, but it takes a lot of guts to just give up power like that and hand it over, and then come up with a framework that will take 300 years for them to tear down and become back to our default position, which is dictatorship. That's really where we are. I think we would be doing the future of our species a favor by bringing ourselves back to that, to helping people understand that is a superior system of governance to any other grandiose thought that is utopian in nature. It's dirty, it's callous, but that's because we're human beings, and that's why it works so well. It really does work so well, and it's beautiful. And I don't know if I give it justice enough. My first time watching live, Clyde. Thanks for having me, Clyde. Rules. Real news. Lenny Brown, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Kind words. That's really nice of you to say that. I really do appreciate that. And but Punjab women are dope. Yeah, okay. I think people from everywhere are dope. I think people from everywhere are great. We talked last week about the concept of what was it? Passport bros. These are the guys that are sick of Western women, but there are good Western women. You're just not gonna find them in a lot of the cities, unfortunately. And if you're a good woman in the city, I'm not targeting you. I'm not targeting you, but you probably know what I'm talking about. And we find great women in Canada. We don't all have to be passport bros. That's the thing. That's too funny. I'm gonna end this show on that note. I really want to drill that one home though. What I was talking about prior to the passport bros. Go out, read books about how the concepts and the idea of freedom, individual freedom, came from, and know that the powerful did not give up their power on their own. The only ones that did were very few men, and they did after winning bloody battles for it. So remember that. The ones that are trying to take power, the people that are trying to tell you to give up everything, won't give up anything of their own. So yeah, everybody that's part of the Discord server, if you're not part of the Discord server, go check it out. The link is in the description down below. We'll be going in and hanging out in there for a little bit. Gonna have some wobbly pops. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Anybody who wants to join that, it's free to go in. Everybody's welcome, so go check that out. We'll see you over there. And of course, as always, keep on